So different people learn at different rates. And the fact that there's something in animation, in your journey, that you don't quite get and it makes you frustrated, then it just means that you need a little bit more time, or you need to see it from a new perspective for it to kind of like click. This is not what most people think. If you're anything like me, you get frustrated because you think you're a horrible animator and you shouldn't really be doing it in the first place. That is not true. Many people that have been coming to me with this idea that if I don't learn things fast enough, then it means that I'm not gifted or I don't have the talent to be an animator. And I really think that anybody can be an animator. You just have to take your time. Everybody's different though. So let's get to it. My name is Harvey Newman. For those that don't know me, if this is the first time that you come to the channel, welcome. I like to share my passion for animation here with all of you. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this idea of like not being a good animator or not actually being at a certain level at a certain age. I talked about this in a previous video about that age doesn't really matter when it comes to animation because it's one of those professions that takes you a lifetime to master. So let's say like you're 40 like me right now, you still have arguably another 25 years or more to actually do animation, right? So it really doesn't matter when you start, how you start. What matters is for you to actually slowly make progress. What I'm seeing through talking to people on my Discord channel is that there is a certain feeling that of frustration because you are not where you're supposed to be, right? And this is a very dangerous feeling to have because animation is really not about the goal, the end goal of just being like an epic animator. Is much more about the journey on how to get there and how you actually evolve as an animator, as a person, how this career can actually make you a better person, a more humble person, because the mountain is huge, right? So like you have to understand from the very beginning, from the get-go, that the fact that you don't learn certain things as fast as others doesn't really mean that you are a bad animator. It just means that you take a little longer to pick up on certain things. Now, this ultimately doesn't mean that you're actually going to be any less than other animators. Because I know many animators that even though they just started, they've been doing it for just a few years, they're absolutely amazing. I also know animators that have been in the industry for many years and they are average at best, right? So those two things don't correlate about how fast you have to go in order to be a good animator. You just have to actually learn things at your own pace. Now, I just wrapped up my latest class of I Animate, and is one of the things that I tell my students. Doesn't matter if it's on my private mentorship or in I Animate. The very first thing I tell them is that, look, guys, everybody learns at different rates. People are going to have different skills, and some people are going to be faster than others, some people are going to be better than others, but that's okay, right? Now, in order for you to actually kind of overcome this, it helps a ton for you to learn or join other animators so you can start to see how this struggle happens to pretty much every single one of us. A good place to be is normally going to be, on Twitter or in communities, just like my Discord channel. Feel free to join if you like. The link is down below. But by seeing other people animating, getting their levels to see more or less when they started and all that stuff, you get to see that everybody kind of struggles with this initial 5 to 10 years struggle that animators have. Because you kind of think, because animation is so much like you, yourself, the computer, and just animating, that you kind of feel like you are behind others. And this is an illusion, right? But for you to actually expose your work to others in a community and say, guys, what do you think of this? They would actually be able to tell you it's either good or bad, or more or less, and why, right? In a constructive manner, right? And you kind of like taking yourself out of your head a little bit and showcasing your work to others means that you start to kind of like have a reality check on where exactly you are. And then if you struggle with something, like if you're spinning your wheels, for example, on the graph editor and you cannot clean the graph editor as you think, or you think that there must be a better way than there is and whatever, just write to the community, right? My Discord channel can just go in and be like, guys, I'm struggling with this, right? How do you guys go about cleaning the graph editor if you have a scene like this, right? And that actually either just make sure that you clarify the idea that you were not as good as you thought you were, or they'll dispel the idea that you were actually really bad and you realize that actually everybody struggles with exactly this situation, right? And if it is, then we can help each other. Really, the internet is the best thing that has ever come, because I'm pretty sure back in the 90s, back in the 80s, back in the 70s, when they were animating, if you were not surrounded by animators in the same room, you would not be able to actually get the knowledge. And if you read books like Richard Williams' The Animator Survival Kit, you actually get the sense that unless you were to travel to the US, and unless you were actually surrounded by the 9-0 man, by the knowledge, by all the years of experience, you would be by yourself. And that's about it. But knowledge was incredibly powerful at that point and is powerful today. The only difference is that now knowledge is everywhere. So what you need to do is actually focus on one community, one place, or one mentor that can give you that knowledge, right? So it doesn't matter which way you're gonna go. It doesn't matter if you go through Animation Mentor or Animate, or join a Discord server, or join my mentorship, right? You just need to have somebody that you can actually kind of like look up to, or a group of people that you can look up to, that you can be like, you know what, these guys got my back. I'm kind of spinning my wheels here. Let me ask these guys here that are my mates about how they go about their business. So when you get that answer, cool. Now you actually have your answer. You can compare your notes with your mental notes, and you can have a reality check on where you are. Now, animators are introverts by nature. I know I am. Most animators that I talk to are as well. And just small things like coming up your seat and just taking reference is a huge thing, right? Don't be shy to the point that you start degrading your skills, right? Because if you are shy that you just put yourself in a bubble and you don't speak with anybody, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because you have all this information out there and people willing to help you, because the animation community is incredibly tight and incredibly friendly, and you're not really using it, and you're being stubborn about learning things by yourself, and you're kind of hitting the wall, and you hit that wall until you finally break it, but it's going to take you like 10 times as long than if you just were to ask somebody and get an answer, right? So even though we are introverts by nature, but you need to actually get to be a better animator if you put yourself out there and ask the questions and start communicating with other people. Because most people, including myself, most likely have gone through what you are going through, and this is why you need to ask those questions, because most people will go like, actually, yes, I've been through this, and this is how you solve it. And this is what Richard Williams in his book, The Animator Survival Kit, was actually going on about, right? I went through this place, I actually met these amazing people and amazing animators, and this is what I've learned from them. And then he put it in a book, and now it's considered the Bible of animation. And this is basically what is available to everybody out there right now. So if you would like to actually kind of like join us in our Discord community, you are more than welcome. We're a welcome bunch, and there's a lot of knowledge to be had, but you don't have to join mine. You can join others if you like, just as long as you ask others for help, because that is the main message that I'm trying to convey here. And that is all I had for you guys. Check out my Patreon if you haven't. If you like this video, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and if you do, much love. Thank you so much. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this content. Let me know if you're actually going through the motions, if you're spinning your wheels. I love to actually talk to you guys over the comments and try to help out there as well. That's all I had. Until next time, stay well, stay safe. Peace.